Hey everyone, thanks for joining Learn to Play Games. My name is Lance, and we're here today to interview Archon Studios' lead designer or co-designer for Masters Universe Fields of Eternia. And this is Jakub Olekszyk, and he is here to talk to us today and answer some of these questions that I know all of you are burning to get answers to. So thank you so much for joining us, and tell me a little bit about yourself and what your past is with Masters Universe. What inspired you? What made you interested in it? Did you grow up watching this? Were you a big fan of the comics? Tell me a little bit about your history with this.
Hello. First of all, thank you for the invitation. It's nice to be here. I will try to answer all of your questions. Who I am. I'm, as you said, lead designer, director of Archon's game development team, and also co-author of Fields of Eternia game.
Awesome.
Our experience with the brand, the classic cartoon from the 80s was also broadcasted by Polish television. So most of our staff know He-Man and the brand very, very well.
Awesome.
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe is our childhood. So working with this IP was a fulfillment of our childhood dreams.
Awesome. Did you get into any of the comics, or I would assume you've probably seen the new Netflix show.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that? Did you like it? Not so much?
I'm not an enthusiast, either not a hater of the series. It's just okay for me. Just okay, nice elements, nice parts of the show, but I'm not a great fan or enthusiast of this series.
I agree. Yeah. Could have been better. Definitely could have been better, but at least we got something, I guess. So from there, moving into the design process. So what were some of the challenges that you faced when designing Masters Universe Fields of Eternia?
The whole production and developing of the game was a big and great challenge, because we've decided to make our game a strategy, a complex, very complex game with many elements, many mechanics. So suiting everything, make it working and smooth was a great challenge.
Yeah.
We started with some area control elements. Also, on the other hand, we've got innovative mechanic for epic combat.
Mm-hmm.
It was even more complex and developed in the early phase of the process, but we have to convert it into a quicker and smoother card game. And I'm really convinced that this form of epic combat is very suitable and interesting in the whole game.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of different mechanics with this one. I know that I've heard it classified as a Euro kind of game, but I almost feel like it's almost a hybrid kind of game, because you have the elements of Euro, and then you have the dice. So you have the Ameritrash kind of mixed in, and then you also have the little deck building element with the combat system. So it's interesting how many different mechanics that you incorporated within the game that all work together to give you that experience. So how was this particular design process different than other projects that you've worked on? I know that Archon Studios has produced other games such as Wolfenstein and some of the other ones such as Load and that in the past. Were you part of all those as well? And how did you find, if you were, that process of developing those games versus something like this?
I am the lead designer since Wolfenstein, the board game. So previous projects I'm not really involved. From Wolfenstein, I'm the lead designer, so I can say something also about this previous project, my previous game.
Okay.
Wolfenstein, the board game, was a very different project and a very different game from Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, that one's more of like a dungeon crawl Ameritrash, it seems like.
Yeah. Something more lighter, something very different, but I'm really satisfied with the final outcome. And the thing I'm enjoying most when working on IPs is converting some crucial, some most liked by fans elements into working and smooth game board mechanics.
Okay.
And I think that everything go okay, and was very nice implemented in both titles. Also, I've got some feedback from reviewers, from fans that actual I made a good job with the Easter eggs, cameos. You also noticed some elements in your MOTU prototype.
Yeah. I didn't have a chance to try out the Wolfenstein one yet. I'm looking forward to it. I definitely that was one that I was very interested in and ended up backing on Kickstarter. So that I'm really interested to see how that one plays. It looks really cool, especially with all those 3D pieces on there and all the train and all that kind of stuff. So it's
looks like an actual Wolfenstein castle.
Yeah, very, very cool. So I'm waiting to dig into that one as well. But this one is really cool so far from the couple playthroughs that I've played in this one so far. And I know we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier where you were talking about some of the design process and how with your epic combat system that you had various iterations of it. Obviously, with a project like this, it's as ambitious as it is, including so many different mechanics on top of all the different modes, which we haven't really talked about yet, where you have the competitive mode where it's a team versus team. There's also a boss or cooperative mode where you're going up against an enemy that's controlled by an AI deck. And then you even have a scrimmage mode. So obviously designing all these things must have taken a lot of time. In that design process, were there aspects that you or mechanics or things that you were hoping to include that didn't make it into the final product that you had to cut, that whether you were attached to them or not, you had to make that tough decision? Was there any kind of situations like that when you were designing this one?
Yeah, that's the story of Epic Combat System. As I said earlier, at the beginning, it was more complex and some kind of actual minigame.
Okay.
With different grids, with different tokens, with chain building even.
Oh wow! Okay.
And we have to get rid with most of these elements because it was too time consuming and it's hurting the pacing and the smoothness of the whole gameplay. Now it's okay. Converted into a card system, you can play one epic combat from 2 to 5 minutes, so it's a good pacing in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I would agree. It definitely does go pretty quick, especially once you get the hang of it. Now, obviously, like in the playthrough video that we did, we're still very novice at it. It was only our third playthrough of the game, so I definitely think as you get into more of the game and you learn how to play it better and that kind of stuff, it definitely
also I'm thinking about attaching you some kind of a designer note how to play it smoothly, because for the newbie some elements could be misleading and you can feel some kind confused how to play it. So I'm thinking about writing some kind of a designer notes, something like in the early game, focus on deck building aspect, on wilds combat, and enjoy epic combats in the end game.
Yeah, that'll be a big help as well. I mean, you guys did a really good job on the rulebook, and that's something that you guys have up on Gamefound now. So if you're interested in checking that out, there's the link in that campaign as well to take a look at it. But I was really happy with it. There was a couple little tweaks, of course, but it's still a work in progress. But overall, you provided a lot of really good examples. There was even a full round of epic combat in there. So I definitely appreciate that as a content creator that's always learning games and going through rulebooks. It was really nice to have those extra examples in there, and it does really make a big difference. So any kind of examples or anything, designer notes you can put in are a big help. So I appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, we are checking all the backers' feedback, so for sure something like this will be included.
Awesome, very nice. So if you had to name one thing that you were the most proud of in this game in your design process, what would that be?
I'm satisfied with the whole game and the thing that we made something real smooth and suit all the different mechanics into one working game, one working product. The thing I'm proud most is Epic Combat System. Very innovative, something very different from other games, and converted into something working and smooth.
Yeah, I would totally agree. It is a really interesting system. I like the deck building elements in it, and it definitely does feel very different than some of the other encounters you'll go through, whether it's the epic beast combat or encounters with enemy allies and regular beasts and stuff like that, where it's simply just a dice chucking system where you're just hoping to get the right symbols that come up.
It's something more strategic.
Absolutely. So from there, let's move into the production side of things and kind of talk about some of that stuff. So do you have an estimated time roughly that you think will be where this game will be produced in? Like, are you guys looking at about a year run? When do you think that the game will be all done and produced and being hopefully shipped to backers? Of course, with other things that can come up with COVID and shipping and all that kind of crazy stuff right now.
The estimated date of delivery is March next year.
Oh, wow.
But we will see what happens due to the COVID situation. We have to watch what's going on.
Now, are you guys producing most of the game, or how is your manufacturing process with this? I know most companies go to China, but I believe you guys make your own miniatures and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, all scalps and figures are made by our sculptors and our internal team.
Yeah, and they're really, really nice sculpts. I know one of the things that I had was curious on as a modeler myself. I have a Warhammer background, so I'm used to putting miniatures together and stuff like that. Are you guys going to have an option where you can get the miniatures on a sprue, or is it simply going to be? Are they all going to be assembled in the box before the games ship, or how is that going to work?
The pledges will be sell with fully assembled models.
Okay, cool. And I know there was a number of questions and concerns about the colors of the two core teams, the Masters Universe being blue and then the enemies being tan color. Has there been any conversation about potentially switching those? I know even in my unboxing, I kind of screwed up a little bit of that because I just assumed right away that evil was blue and the good guys were kind of tan. Is that something that you guys might be changing?
We try to keep every colors consistent, also with the cards, and there was some kind of a problem that evil warriors and the horde are using some variants of purple or violet. So we think to keep the models colors consistent with the coat of arms. So that's the reason that Skeletor and his evil warriors are yellow, just like Havoc stuff on the coat of arms. But yeah, we we can certainly change the colors. That's not a problem. We are checking the feedback, the comments, and this is the matter that easily can be changed, just like the backers wanted.
Okay. Yeah, I figured that's something that's easily rectified, but I figured there was a thought process behind why you chose the colors originally, of course. And I mean, for the people that are going to paint the models, it really doesn't matter because you're painting over it anyways. But I guess for the people that don't have the time or don't actually get around to it, that I guess that could make a difference for sure. Was there a reason why you guys chose Gamefound versus Kickstarter? I know there's been a hot debate over the two different crowdfunding sources. So, what was there? What was your thought process when you guys chose to do Gamefound versus Kickstarter?
Gamefound is fast growing now and is dedicated for gamers, for board gamers mostly. So that was probably the main reason. But I'm a game designer, not a marketing person. So something from marketing team probably could give you a better answer.
That's fair. Yeah, I was just kind of curious because there's a lot of people that are probably going to be potentially watching that they're designing their own games and whatnot. And I've heard there are a number of benefits to that, but that'll have to be a conversation for another day, I guess.
Yeah.
So going into some of the other factions, I know that there are 2 other factions you guys are releasing with the core game. Can you tell me a little bit about each one of those factions, and then maybe some of the new rules or things that are incorporated within those? Because it seems like they're more than just new factions. There's new. It looks like there's new rules. There's new things that go along with them.
First add-on will be concentrated on the Evil Horde and the Spell of Separation lore story.
Okay.
New mechanic referring to this add-on is upgrading troops. So all your soldiers on the map will have their special role and usage. You will be able to upgrade a simple soldier into elite, into merchant, or a sailor. That will change the economical and area control aspects a lot.
Okay.
Also, something for earning victory points. In both add-ons, you will have optional to the victory cards deck a checklist. We call it Path of Destiny. So that will bring another possibility to earn a victory point. What's more with the Horde? Special tokens, more vehicles, more encounter beasts. And on the other hand, we've got a Snakeman add-on. There is a special mechanic also for the Snakeman soldiers.
Okay.
Some kind of sabotage squads for the main map and area control elements.
Awesome.
Also, mechanic for all factions: poisoning and paralyze.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so you will be able to involve epic combat and whole other elements with poisoning heroes and paralyzing them. That will put an impact on the actions on how the heroes will be acting.
So I know you mentioned with this that you have the poison element in that within Epic Combat. Now, is that going to be new cards that are going to be added to your initial Epic Combat deck, or are either one of these factions going to include new cards that will advance that deck building option more within Epic Combat?
You will mark special status with a token, with a poison token or paralyzed token.
Okay.
And also some epic and counter beasts allies will have an option to poison your opponent or paralyze there. So the game will be even more complex and interesting because special statuses will not impact only the epic combat but the whole gameplay. Okay. Something similar to the Pokemon. If your Pokemon is poisoned, that your HP will be going down not only in combat but also on the main map. Something similar will be happening with special status in Fields of Eternia.
Awesome. Now, I know obviously with campaigns like this that you try to get as much as you possibly can in, but obviously you can't fit everything in. Was there certain factions or different characters that you really wanted to get in but just were not able to fit in?
There's something for Hordak mount. You can find pictures of Hordak riding a giant Mantisaur, something bug type creature, but we cannot make an actual model of Mantisaur because until now this creature isn't present in the classic canon. So we decided to make Hordak with his right.
Very cool. Now, is there any plans for this game in the future? Are you guys looking at potentially adding additional things down the road to keep this game, continually moving forward and adding potentially new content, new factions, giving players even more options? Or is this just going to be kind of a one and done and then maybe go to retail?
We will see in the future. For now, we are watching the campaign and super stretch goal, very well quality Castle Grayskull dice tower is nearly actual addition. So we are looking for this epic dice tower.
Yeah, we're closing in on it. We're at almost 750, so I think we got 50K left, and we're closing in on it. That looks so cool. I saw that, and I was like, I just went crazy over it. So I cannot wait
nice
to see it.
That will be a very nice thing to make it an actual plastic, well detailed model.
Yeah, it looks. I cannot wait to see the actual model of that. That looks so cool. And congratulations on funding and all that too. Of course, I mean, you're doing, it's doing really well, especially having it limited in the region that people can back it and that kind of stuff. So, really cool to see. And all the daily stretch goals are awesome, keeping me coming back, checking for more, seeing the different allies and stuff. So, very, very cool and exciting. Had a really good time working on this game, and looking forward to trying out some of the other stuff. We had a limited amount of time, and we just did not dig into the other things. I'm a big fan of cooperative games myself, so I saw that there was a cooperative mode, and I was really excited about that. I really want to check that out and see. So hopefully, as time goes on, I'll be able to do some more of that. I also have covered some other videos about this game, so if you're interested in taking a look at a playthrough of the game, we'll have that, and I'll have a link in that in the description below, as well as an unboxing video, and I will probably be doing an overview video as well. So if you're just interested in checking out the main mechanics of the game, I'll have one of those up shortly, way before, hopefully next week, I'm planning. So you'll have some additional content looking for that, and might be able to do some stuff post-production as well. Once the game ships, I might look at doing a teaching video or something like that. So there's plenty of more content on my channel that's coming. And thank you so much for talking with us today and going through some of this stuff. Really exciting. Masters Universe is getting a lot of love right now. And so really appreciate the work that you did with this, the design process and that, and taking the time out of your busy day. And obviously with the crowdfunding and all that, to talk with me and that. I really do appreciate it. And thank you so much. And best of luck to you with all of the rest of the campaign that's still to come.
Thank you too. You have that power.
Thanks. So For you, those of you that are watching, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. And if you have any feedback or questions, please leave those in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer them or swing them over to the Archon team to get some of those answers for you guys as well. And as always, thanks so much for taking the time to watch my videos and leave me feedback on them. I do appreciate it, and I take into account everything you say to make the best possible videos. Until next time, we'll see you later.